Yes.
First things first, Paavo. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm really fine.
That's very good to hear.
Yeah, we have now been touring with Sabaton in Europe for 3 weeks. We have still one week to go.
So I'll ask you the same question as I asked Sabaton. But what is your mindset, or what is your feeling this last week of the tour? How do you look back at the last couple of weeks?
Of course, the first week was like a kind of interesting. That no one knows how does it work and how would it be, but certainly we got the tour rolling, and it's been like a super great. Great with the Sabaton, great with Amaranthe and all the organization. You know, we have 125 people on the touring crew, 7 trucks, 7 buses. So it's like a big.
It's quite a show.
Yeah, it's a big show, a big production, and we have really fantastic catering. And there's like British ladies taking really good care of us and making really good food and healthy food, and we have really like a good feeling between all the bands and all the crew members, and everybody talks to each others, and you know, it's a really good tour on that sense. Like the mood is super great, and everybody is like creating the things together, and it's also really fantastic that we can also combine that on the stage. So Elise Ryd, from the singer of Amaranthe, she's joining our set for 2 songs, and then we are also joining Sabaton set for 5 songs.
Right.
And that's why that was actually the original plan from Per, the bass player of Sabaton, and to, you know, if we are going on tour together, we should have something together also on stage and combine all these bands and show that music can be, you know, connecting people.
Right, like it's not separate things, but it's all one.
Yeah, and you know, music is not competition.
Right.
It's definitely no competition, and if I have seen some old times that there's some competition between the bands, and how stupid is that? Then I'm really happy that nowadays it's really rare, and that mostly, you know, everybody's supporting each other's and like cheering up, and that's, you know, getting a good mood, and let's try to solve all the problems and not be nasty for each others. And we all human beings, we should be like that.
Exactly. That's very good. So, well, there's something interesting that you said, because, well, a crew of 125 or
Yes.
so. And then if we go back to kind of last couple of years, you've been doing kind of this anniversary tour.
Yeah.
So if you go back all the way down to when Place Metallica came out, that wasn't 125 people a crew. So did it remind you, doing that tour, did it remind you of the early days?
Especially in the Apocalyptica Place Metallica. That was like our 20 years anniversary tour. We started to tour 23 years ago now. From now, this anniversary took like 3 years. But so 23 years ago we started to tour, and we got a really big success on album sales. It was like a hit album, but still we were touring with a small van. And our touring crew was basically tour manager and sound engineer. That was all. And then we had like one Ford Transit. That's everything. No aircon. But you know, all the young bands, they should start that, and then they learn how to manage.
So it's important to go through that kind of, to know what.
Yes, of course. And it's fun to remember those days.
Okay.
And but of course,
But I'm sure you're happy you don't have to do that anymore.
I could not do that anymore, but that's when you are young and you need money. That's you know. Oh,
But
that's really.
at that time, what was the dream? Because you had, like you say, you have a first record out. You're kind of, it's doing well, it's selling well. What was the dream? How did you think about where you were going as a band, as a musician?
Maybe we differ a bit of the normal, you know, guitar players and bass players, because many times they are dreaming when they are getting the band. They love playing together, and they are dreaming to make a kind of career and that to be successful. We didn't plan anything. We didn't have this. This was a really spontaneous thing in the beginning. We didn't have planned to do albums. We were just asked to do that, and we were taking the challenge kind of way. And we were not expecting any kind of success or career, and we didn't have any kind of plans. So everything came step by step, and we just took it like a wow, and of course it was a fantastic thing, and we were thankful for that. But then, you know, it kind of way it gave us a possibility to continue and go to the next step and create new kind of music. But so we didn't basically dream about the huge long career, and we didn't dare to think that after 24 years we are still here playing Wembley Arena or something like that. Places.
Well, but you are, so.
But we are here, yeah. Of course, we are thankful. That's really great, and you know, life is full of wonderful things and surprises, and
sure.
And of course, we have done a lot of hard work for that, and it's not coming easy.
Sure.
Definitely not easy. But here we are.
But you have a new album, and here you are, Cell Zero. That idea of kind of the elementary particles of life, kind of deconstructing and constructing. Yeah. When did that idea start to kind of take hold in the band?
Yeah, you know, that's also the main, you know, ignition for that maybe was that we wanted to go back for our roots and the starting point. Where to the roots of Apocalyptica.
Right.
At the same time when we were diving deeper to the roots of the humankind and the humanity and that kind of things, like a theme ways.
Sure.
But you know, we wanted to dig the original Apocalyptica sound from there, and we kind of we didn't care about the format or radio. You know, nowadays if you want to have a song in the radios, you need to have a typical song. There is a singer with a quite simple lyrics, easy to sing along, and there's a power chorus and a part, verse, chorus, verse, C part, solo, double chorus, and that's it. But we didn't want to, you know, go to that. We wanted to be a free for, you know, free for art and create something independent. We produced this by our own money, and we, of course, we were happy to get some label to, you know, release that. Sure. But and yeah, so it's really honest for ourselves, and it's challenging music. It's not easy music at all.
Well, I was
and it was not it's an album which is not licking anybody's ass. It's just honest for ourselves, and I'm sure music lovers and our hardcore fans would love it. And as I know, the first reactions has been really, really good.
Yeah, I found the same kind of the initial reactions on the videos, and they were all very good. And for yourselves, then, what was it like to kind of delve into this older part of you, but with more skill and more kind of, because obviously over the years you've grown, and so Was it a difficult process in a way? Because, like you say, it's not easy music in a way. It's very layered. There's.
I would say it was not. Of course, it's always a challenge to produce an album by yourself. There is no producer to give his own formula or his ideas.
Right.
So we were like responsible for everything by ourselves, and that's not easy job to do.
Right.
And but freedom to do whatever. Fuck all the formats and that kind of attitude. You know, that's a music you should listen alone, put your headphones on, sit on your sofa, close your eyes, and start listening to music. And what does it bring to your mind? And at least when I'm listening certain classical or some really good progressive music, I start to paint some pictures or views in my mind, and I would be really happy that if you would get the same kind of mindscapes and that's a soundtrack of your personal film.
Right. And then, of course, with instrumental music, it already becomes a little bit more soundtracky.
Yeah.
And then obviously, the way you play and the type of songs, if you take Rise is very, very much like that. Fire and Ice has a lot of that dynamic of movie soundtracks. So if we can take one and you can pick any, which one do you have a really strong image with? If you can share that an image that you have with one of the songs.
Many songs has really strong image, and I would note that there's always a song title which is kind of sign mark that which direction that your first thoughts could be, because there is no lyrics to tell the story. It does not tell anything about this, what's happening in an album. You need to build your own story for that, and of course the title name is giving you some advice, and I would say that all the songs has different kind of scale. Of course, there's some songs which has really like a strong mind pictures. For example, the Fire and Ice you said.
Right.
That's really like you can see the northern the mountains and some misty mornings or and some dark things happening around, and but playing with contrasts, that has always been like a part of Apocalyptica. Nothing is really heavy if there is not like a gentle and soft on the side to compare. So if there's a hard Slayer riff for half an hour, you get kind of numb for that, and so that's why Apocalyptic thing is to play with these contrasts and really rough and aggressive, fast, but next moment there's really soft, gentle,
Sure.
Time you need to beat, and time you'll be soft and nice, and
it's kind of covering the whole spectrum, not just one side of it.
Yes.
Well, there's one line in it. In the final song, there's a line, or there's a couple of lines.
Yeah.
So I want to see what you think of this, because I wrote it down. Ignorance became our deadliest sin.
Yeah.
And then kind of this theme it goes into, I suppose, kind of global warming and kind of how we deal with the world these days. But how do you interpret that?
Yeah, that's our band name tells already quite a lot of that. So Apocalypse. That's really apocalyptic, like a sentences,
Sure.
And well, sounds really like a tragic, but it's kind of bit cliche verse, but it's that's a thing what's happening at the moment in our time, and we should at least think about it. Is it so or not?
And within this kind of idea, because obviously, well, it's up to everybody to decide kind of what's going on, but what role does music play in the way you kind of figure out the world? And doesn't have to be these political things, or but it can be also your personal things. And how does music kind of, if it does, but how does it influence kind of how you interpret the world?
Well, you know, for me, music heals. It combines, it connects people, it heals your soul. You know, our world is so full of, you know, hectic things, too much information all the time. Music is really good medicine to heal your soul, and you need something deeper things in your heart. So
final question then, because well, aside from your own music, what is kind of the last song or maybe last artist that you listened to that had a healing effect on you?
I have some music which is always healing me. If I'm really feel homesick and if I'm really like I need some balance, and yeah, I'm listening Sibelius. Okay. That Finnish composer. Mostly his symphonies. That always gives me like some love.
It brings you back to kind of early days.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to talk to you.
You too.